So we have seen the basic working principle of the synchronous machine, right? Now one thing that you need to know is how to excite or energize the rotor winding with DC supply. So why is this question important? Because the rotor is rotating. It is not stationary. So when you have an induction machine, you are going to simply give it a three-phase power to the stationary stator windings. Okay, the stator windings there are stationary. But here, in addition to the power given to the stator windings, you are also going to have to give power to the rotor, which is rotating. So how do you ensure this supply? There are two methods for it. Okay, one is through a external source only. So what is going to happen? We are going to make use of slip rings and brushes. So we will see what is the mechanism. The second thing is we use a special DC power source mounted directly on the rotor shaft. Not on the rotor but on the rotor shaft. When you have a rotor, it is going to have a shaft. What is the speciality of this shaft is it can be extended. So the machine may be completed here, but the shaft is going to be extended. So this is how we move the rotor using the prime mover. And even for the motor, the shaft is the means by which we move the external mechanical load. So these are the two distinctive methods by which the rotor is excited in a synchronous machine. So we will see this one by one. First is the external DC source using slip rings and brushes. So what is going to happen here? Let us say this is the machine. From here you can get the shaft and you can also get the rotor ends of the rotor winding. Okay. So now you are going to have one slip ring here. Okay. So this is going to rotate along with the shaft. Similarly, you are going to have another slip ring. Okay. Now one of the ends is connected to one slip ring, another end is connected to the other slip ring. Okay. Now what is going to happen? You are going to make use of brushes. This is the brush and this is going to be connected to, let us say, positive DC power. And here is going to be another brush. So this is going to be connected to the negative terminal. So these two brushes here, these are stationary. Okay. You can write down here. Brushes are stationary. Then what about the slip ring? The slip ring is going to rotate. Slip ring which is mounted on the shaft and will rotate along with the shaft. So what is going to happen when this DC power is given? The positive supply is here. So the current will flow from here and through this brush here it will go into the slip ring and then to the rotor winding, one end of the rotor winding. Okay. So this slip ring is sliding on this stationary brush and then it is going to go through the rotor winding and from the other end the current is going to flow into the slip ring and into the brush and to the negative terminal. Okay. So irrespective of the angular position of the rotor, this direction of current is not going to change. Okay. So that is the important point here. You can write down slip rings slide on the stationary brushes. Each end of the rotor winding will be connected to each slip ring. And the next point is that irrespective of the rotor angular position, the current will always flow in one direction only. Okay. So in the DC machine, if you remember, we made use of slip rings, right? So this is how a slip ring is going to be like. So the AC current that is produced is converted into DC using the split ring, but slip ring is different. So this is one way of the rotor excitation. Now one disadvantage, major disadvantage in this kind of excitation is that you need a lot of maintenance. Okay, maintenance is high because of the wearing down of brushes and also the brush voltage drop can lead to significant power losses. Okay. The next method of excitation is the brushless excitation. So here we are not going to use any kind of brushes. Instead, we are going to use a small generator mounted on the rotor shaft itself. So that means the generator will be moving along with the rotor. That is why there is no need for the brushes. So we will see how this is actually practically applied. Okay. So if you take the synchronous machine rotor and the stator. Now where will the generator be? We will call the generator as the exciter or the generator. Okay, so the generator that is going to excite the field circuit of the synchronous machine. That is why we are going to call it as an exciter. So on the rotor you are going to have the exciter armature winding. Okay, and where will be the field winding of the exciter is, it will be mounted on the stator. Okay, so here you are going to have exciter field winding. So this field winding is going to be excited with the input, electrical input. So now what you can see here, you have an electrical input to the field winding. So there is an active field and this armature is rotating because it is present on the rotor, right? So what will it do? This exciter or the generator which is moving in the presence of a magnetic field, it will generate voltage. Okay, and because the electrical input to the field winding we are placing on the stator, we don't have to worry about any kind of brushes. Okay, so this is called as the brushless excitation. Now the rest is as it is. From here you're going to get electrical DC output to the rotor winding or the rotor field circuit. Okay, and here on the stator you're going to have three-phase windings. Okay, so these are going to generate the three-phase output power. So this is the main armature, meaning the armature of the synchronous machine. Now one more improvement in the brushless excitation is how to completely remove any dependence on an electrical output. Okay, for a synchronous machine, if you are using the synchronous machine as a generator, how to completely be dependent of any external power, because here you are going to have to give electrical input in order to get the rotor field circuit running. So how to achieve that? Once again, this is the synchronous machine. If you take, it is going to have the rotor and stator, right? Now on the rotor you're going to have something called as the pilot exciter. Okay, so you can write down pilot exciter. Here you're going to have a set of permanent magnets which are going to help give a magnetic field, and here you are going to have pilot exciter armature. Okay, so now the permanent magnets will give a magnetic field, and since they are rotating, they are mounted on the rotor, right? So we have a rotating magnetic field which is going to energize the pilot exciter armature. Okay, and this is going to give electrical output, right? It will give electrical output to the exciter field circuit. Okay, so that means you remember this part, right? Here we are giving the exciter field winding an external electrical input. Okay, this is stationary, remember. But instead of an external electrical input, we are going to give the electrical input through a pilot exciter. So that means in order to excite the synchronous machine rotor, we are using an exciter, and in order to excite the exciter, we are using a pilot exciter. Okay, so that many exciters are there, don't get confused. So here you have the exciter field circuit is present here. So the pilot exciter armature is going to excite the exciter field circuit. This in turn, here you are going to have exciter armature. Okay, so this is now going to give you the electrical output. To what? To the synchronous generator main field of synchronous generator. Okay, so the field winding is on the rotor. Now here what do we have? We have the main armature. That means the armature winding of the synchronous machine. So this is now going to give you the electrical output. This is how, using brushless excitation, you can completely be independent of any kind of external power supply. Okay, so this is the setup that you usually see in the power generation industries.